Good God day, my great friends, and welcome back to Hey You, Get Out of the Porta Potty on the Too Good to Be True series. I want to start this out with a quote from Henry David Thoreau. He once stated he regretted he was never as wise as the day he was born.
I love that freaking quote. I love the flower that you picked out, the impatience, and that reminds me of another quote that ties in greatly to this lesson. I mentioned it in an earlier video. Comes from the great Charles Bukowski. Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you had to be? Now, Kaylee, we've got the pool sitting behind us. What did I used to tell you I did when I was like 5 and 6 years old all day out by the pool?
You would save the bugs out.
I would save the bugs out. No one taught me how to do it. No school teacher, no PhD college professor. I'd sit out by the pool all day and I'd save bugs. And my mom would come out, their nanny, and she'd say, "What are you doing, son?" I said, "I'm saving bugs out of the pool, Mom. I don't want them to drown." I can't imagine if they can't fly home to their families and have dinner together every night. And then I went off and I got educated, and I was told I was smart because I could memorize things. And then some completely psychopathic family member essentially taught me to be a serial killer of bugs instead of saving them. Many deaths in the family. And then I had the world tell me, oh my gosh, you'll only be successful and you'll only be happy if you got some corporate job, blah, 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 and you have a house and all this other crap. And none of that stuff ever made me happy. In fact, I was quite depressed. But in 2008, September 11th, through pure grace, I was saved. And my God, I was saved with the greatest wake-up call I ever got in my whole life, because I could not find my way back then. Kaylee, what happened on my birthday, September 11th, 2008?
I gave you a birthday card calling you the greatest dad in the world.
Yes! Not only did she call me the greatest dad in the world, she had drawn 3 pictures in there. Do you remember what those pictures were?
The beach, Powerade Zero, and peanut butter cookies with a Hershey kiss in the middle.
Yep. She knew at a little, she was, you were like 8 back then.
Yeah.
And she knew 3 things about her dear old dad and some of his true loves. And I fell to my knees that night, and I cried like I hadn't cried in a long time. There was a lot of pain built up inside. And I hate to admit it, but I always tell people vulnerability is strength. Now, she always tells me I was not a bad dad, and that's probably true. She even showed me a bunch of pictures of me being like a goofy dad. But I knew in that moment I did not deserve the title of the greatest dad in the world. And I knew that would always be far more important than any job I would ever have, any profession I'd ever have. In fact, I always like to say, people love to be judgmental of people in prison. Now, I volunteer in the prisons, and I met some real beautiful people in there. And what I found out, 80% of people who are incarcerated never have a dad. And we're talking about GDP in this country. When 80% of the people in prison don't have dads, that's what we should be talking about. But they can't do it because it's not politically correct. Now, so we go back to those quotes. I regret that I was never as wise as the day I was born. And do you remember who you were before the world told you who you had to be? And you're wondering why there's a plant in the video. Kaylee, are you wondering why there's a plant in the video?
Yes, I am.
Kaylee is very brave, by the way, which is one of the things that we worked on. because we have this question, and the question goes, what is it about you that others would change if they could? And Kaylee and I asked this. She told me sometimes I sound like a raving lunatic in these videos, and she wouldn't mind if I softened up a little bit, which I'm working on. And I told her flat out, I said, I can't snap my fingers and make you brave, but I know that life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. So you got to be more brave. So one of the ways she works on her bravery is being like a guinea pig in these videos. So I said, hey, collect a plant for this video's lesson. So now you get to have it unveiled what the plant's here for, right? So when you gave me the card calling me the greatest dad,
Yeah.
would you agree I had to, in essence, remove all the parts of me that weren't in alignment with that beautiful definition you gave me?
Yes.
Okay, so this is an impatience plant. Kaylee, if you would, take 10 seconds, look it over, and remove some parts of this plant that need to be pruned away.
Pull them off.
Okay, yeah, just pull it right off. Prune it away. Okay, and we could sit here and prune all day, but you get the picture.
Yeah.
Now, Kaylee, you see these pretty parts of the plant?
Yeah.
And you see these new ones that are forming in?
Yeah.
Does the pruning stimulate new growth?
Yes.
I regret that I was never as wise as the day I was born. Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you had to be? Pruning away things stimulates new growth. We want you to be the greatest version of yourself. You've got your eulogy. Now I ask you, what parts of you need to be pruned away to stimulate new growth so that you can be your own version of whatever it is mine was greatest dad in the world? What parts of you need to be pruned away so that you can become who God created you to be? What do you need to prune away to stimulate new growth? Kaylee?
Yes.
Anything else that you want to share with the fine people who love and support our channel despite YouTube essentially having us buried and hidden?
Please hit like, subscribe, share this video with anyone who may need to hear this message, and comment down below.
Love you all.